not. X-rated rock and roll impersonator.
I do a whole act, wall-to-wall, top-to-bottom, jizz jams. Thanks for coming out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So horny to be here.
This is a really bad idea.
Oh, Jesus. I've been cold turkey in the booze. Ricky Stanicky's in the program, remember?
Oh, Rod.
It's not what you think it is. It's just piss.
I'm a hyper every.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 comedy Ricky Stanicky. The film is directed by Peter Farrelly and it stars Zac Efron, John Cena, Andrew Santino and William H. Macy. Right, the film focuses on three childhood friends who, when they're young at Halloween, do a prank that goes terribly wrong and they decide to blame it on somebody called Ricky Stanicky. When they get away with this, they realise they've got this that they can use for the rest of their lives. So every time over the next 25 years they've wanted to get out of something or be somewhere, and this has continued into their lives when they've got married or got with partners, they just make up this story of their childhood friend Ricky Stanicky, and it gets them out of, whatever they don't want to do. They use this to get a breakaway to Vegas and have a really good time to get out of a baby shower. But when they find out that the baby comes early, all have to rush back, and then it turns out they've got to produce this Ricky Stanicky for everybody because people are starting to disbelieve it. So while in Vegas, they met John Cena's character, Rock Hard Rod, who is a cheap Vegas act that does rock songs, pop songs, quite adult versions of them. Is a real character, and he claims as an actor. So in an act of desperation, they ring him and offer him the gig. He turns up and chaos ensues from that point on. Right, what are my thoughts on Ricky Stanicky? Well, I saw the trailer for this one a few weeks ago, and I'm not going to lie, I thought it looked really funny. This kind of humour is my kind of humour. I mean, it's Peter Farrelly, and he's part of the Farrelly brothers that gave us some iconic comedy films over the years. I mean, just check out some of the stuff he's done in the past, and you can kind of guess where this film is going. You've got Dumb and Dumber, Something About Mary, so on and so forth. You know the kind of humour we're talking about here. It's adult, sometimes gross out humour, and it works for the most part. It worked back then in the 90s and early noughties, and to be honest, because we don't really get a lot of them these days, it still works now. And I thought this film was genuinely funny. I laughed out loud an awful lot of times in this. Now, Zac Efron, I'm starting to become a big fan of his. Every time I see him, he impresses me. I think he's a very, very talented young actor. And you do see him in a lot of comedies, but he's obviously been doing a lot of dramas as well now. However, he's playing the straight guy here. He's not the comedy guy here. It's actually John Cena. Now, I've always thought that John Cena, even when he was wrestling, has always had a real talent for comedy, lightness, humour. He's done it all the way through his wrestling career, and we've seen signs. Well, he's done comedies, in Hollywood, and they've been very good, and he's always been good in them. I think this completely and utterly, he absolutely nails it. He fully commits to this character, this goofball Ricky Stanicky, and he really just absolutely commits. He's gone into this with no ego. He's not said no to anything, at least I don't think he will have done. And he's delivered a very, very memorable character and performance, and easily the best part of this film is John Cena. He is hilarious. There's no other way of saying it. I can't tell you how many times I literally, was almost crying with laughter with some of the stuff that I saw in this film. Some of it's toilet humour, you can argue some of that, but also it's funny. Comedies, why should they restrain themselves? They're trying to make you laugh. And I think the best comedies, when they go full throttle to try and make you laugh, and they're not worried about, anybody kind of, having a pop at them on social media. We'll get material that's funny, and we absolutely get it here. Now, and I speak about this a lot when I do American comedy reviews. They all tend to follow the similar blueprint. It's like the sports blueprint, the underdog story type thing. But from a comedy perspective, You get the introduction of the characters, and then you get the big funnies going off and stuff, and then you get the consequences of everything, and then the big make-up sort of thing. The people that have been hurt by this, that, or the other. The family members and stuff, and then you get the big payoff at the end, and everything's lovely, everything's happy, everybody's been smeared in honey, and everybody's just so happy, sweet, and lovely to each other. And I'm not going to lie, I do get a bit tired of that formula now. I don't necessarily think we need to do it, and I think it is literally like they're following a blueprint when they're doing these movies now. I don't think this is really in your face like some, and it really is at its best, this film, for like the first 60%, right up. The idea is they got to get Ricky Stanicky to come to this I can't even remember what it's called. It's like some Jewish ceremony, where they snip the baby's foreskin. Pardon me. So they've got to produce him there. So the idea is they're going to pay him just to be there, and then he's got to make his excuses and go. So everybody thinks he's real, and he can carry on getting away with Ricky Stanicky excuses. And that bit is all golden right up to the point when he goes. And then what happens the next day is, Zac Efron's boss was so impressed with Ricky Stanicky, he hires him at the company. And then it gets a bit, I don't know, it slows down a bit, the humour, but it still has some absolutely brilliant moments. I think William H. Macy's fabulous in this film as well. And the observations from John Cena about William H. Macy's speech making are just hilarious. Very, very funny. So there are still moments from that point on where it's funny, but from that point on, it's kind of setting up the ending, the consequences of, people finding out who Ricky Stanicky really is, and how everybody's been lied to, and, how everybody's going to make it all up to each other, and, and it all gets a bit lovely and sticky, and it loses that initial grit and charm that it had at the start, that kind of risk taking, or just absolutely going for it in regards to the comedy in the early parts of the film. So I think this film is absolutely golden up to about 3/4 of the way through, or maybe a little bit less, and then it does slow down a bit, but it is, for me, I think, and again, and I do say this a lot in my reviews for comedies, comedy's subjective. What I find funny, you might not find funny, so you might watch this and just think it's distasteful or not funny at all. But I thought there was some really, really funny moments in this, and I was super impressed with John Cena, not only for his comedy abilities, but his acting abilities. It's the first time I've really looked at him, because he has some actual moments in this film where there's he's showing real emotion, and there's some decent acting going on there. I've not been massively impressed with John Cena previously. I think he's fine, but to me, he showed real talent in this film. And there were some really standout funny moments, especially when you see him on stage doing his Vegas act dressed up as Billy Idol and Britney Spears and all these other people, Alice Cooper, doing these jizz songs, essentially. It's just hilarious. I don't know how they filmed some of that without just absolutely floods of tears. I just don't know how they did it. I can't wait for the Blu-ray release of this, because I'll be looking forward to the gag reel and the bloopers, because they're just going to be hilarious. They really, really are. So, yeah, I think this is definitely worth checking out. It's on Prime right now in the UK. You can watch it and enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this review. I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.